TIL about the Civilian Conservation Corp, a Depression-era program employing young men on civil improvement projects like park projects, dams and canals and other projects. It's sad that today there are people who have never heard of the CCC. If you've been to any national or state parks, you must likely have them to thank. What's even sadder is that this helped build the middle class in America. We used our tax dollars and put people to work that improved the national infrastructure and the livelihood of millions of Americans, infrastructure that we still use to this day. We could, as a nation, easily do this again, but instead we give our tax dollars to private companies because anything else would be socialism. A lot of the national parks and many of the country roads and bridges in the US were built by the CCC. It was also treated as an exercise in population mobilization, as one of the ways FDR and the New Dealers sold the CCC to others was as a way to keep America ready for war during peacetime in a period of reduced military spending. Many CCC camps were coordinated and run through the Army, who were able to maintain a practiced and professional understanding of logistics and human resources that would help the US in the rapid mobilization for World War II. There is also the Civilian Conservation Centers, or Job Corps, that offers low-income or at-risk youth to learn a trade. Got to live in San Francisco for free, got paid like $50 a week technically, and learn the culinary arts. Went on to work at the most expensive resort in the continental US at the time, got a externship at a 2-star Michelin restaurant, and getting all the training and certifications other had to pay tens of thousands for. Lots of country roads out there that got built in that era. The only problem is they require maintenance, and many haven't gotten much over the years. There's one near my ranch that has several washed out spots that go to one lane and other parts that are just gravel. I doubt the county ever fixes it, and eventually some parts become impassable. Going to Italy was a reminder that there's an ongoing cost to infrastructure that's eventually too much. All I ever heard was that my grandpa was in the 3 Cs. It was only a few years ago I looked it up and learned what it was. If I remember right, you had to be 17 to join. He was on his own at 13 and joined up, lied about his age, around 1934. Later served in World War II. He was Lance Corporal in the Army, a rank that's gone now. He died when I was 6. I wish I'd had a chance to talk to him about some of the work he did in the 3 Cs. My father was one of 13 children. He joined the CCCs in order to financially assist the family. Of the $30 he was paid each month, he sent $27 home. He worked on a project in New Hampshire that ultimately became the Kankomagas Highway. He told me that, "You don't know what hard work is until you've been chopping down trees with an axe and the temperature is 20 below zero." California still does it, mostly for youths that don't know where to go in life. Everyone I've known to do it absolutely loved it and are now college grads or perpetual hiking geeks with regular jobs. I'm fortunate enough to know some adults that work in CCC, and they are all incredible people. The CCC built the house I lived in for most of my childhood. Hell, I see CCC stuff in almost every park I visit now as an adult. I wish there was a way to bring it back as a national program. It did a lot of good for the nation and its people. My grandfather was building roads in Montana for the CCC during a break from college where he was getting a civil engineering degree. When World War II started, a group of them left Montana for Denver, as it was the closest enlistment center. These were hard men doing a hard job. Modern politicians would scream communism at something like this. My great-grandfather loved his time in the Conservation Corps, and it basically built all the cool shit our country has today. Now that our infrastructure is falling apart, we have no way to replace anything. I think the CCC and the WPA should be brought back to address the infrastructure issues nationwide. I also understand that it would be bitterly opposed by the GOP and corporations and, if brought back, would be constantly under pressure to privatize. That's a damn shame. This actually sounds like it could be really beneficial. I wish I would have done something like that out of high school instead of rushing right into university. I learned more doing unpaid internships after my degree than I did at school. I live near part of the Illinois-Michigan Canal that was built to connect Lake Michigan, Chicago to the Illinois and Mississippi rivers. We had several CCC camps that turned the canal into a recreational trail, among other projects. Yet more dangerous government programs from those evil liberal socialists that trained and put people to work at good-paying jobs purposed to help the country's energy and transportation growth needs. Sounds like Biden's plans. I live near a state park that was built by the CCC. They were building an entrance gate out of stone when the US joined World War II, and they had to leave the wall unfinished, and it's still unfinished to this day. Seems like a no-brainer to employ young adults in need of cash. The investment pays for itself many times over. Some of our greatest national treasures come from this era. Would be fantastic to bring this back as an option for high school graduates who don't go to college. Seems like a better default than the military. Oh, so you're telling me that training young people to kill strangers in foreign lands isn't the only thing the government can teach them to do? Worked as a wildland firefighter in the California Conservation Corps a couple years ago. Hard work, low pay, miserable conditions, and more. I remember seeing campgrounds and improvements that they told us were CCC projects in the late 60s or early 70s on Boy Scout trips. Republicans of the day, the same ones who got America into a deep depression, howled about the evil socialist CCC programs. Within the CCC there was also a YCC providing summer jobs to high school youths. Ask me how I know. They used to call this make work in the day. It didn't have the greatest reputation. Will the CCC be restarted to help people get through the current depression? My grandpa was in this. He had some cool stories about it. I miss my grandpa. Hillary wanted this to be part of her presidency for millennials. That's who built Red Rocks. The field house in Des Moines, Washington was built by the CCC.